Let's go. Let's go get this game going because the Vancouver Canucks just are on a 2-game winning streak. Woo! Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is RevTrev, and I'm so glad that you're here. Kempner Canucks is going to be wild tonight. It's going to be a great night. Just a reminder, I posted the wrong picture. This is the post-game show for the Canucks Blackhawks game. I had the other one there. I realized I didn't have it properly. Okay, so the Vancouver Canucks, everyone, get a win in shootout thriller for the Canucks and Chicago game. Canucks win 3-2, and it was a good game. It was entertaining. I loved it. I enjoyed it. I was stressed out. I was like, we should have won like 6 different times. We couldn't do it. And we got a lot to talk about tonight. So definitely in the comments, guys, girls, what was the biggest part of the game where you're just sitting there and you're going, this was the biggest frustration, or this is the most exciting part? Tell me in the comments, and we're going to get into a lot of comments tonight. What are the things that you were the most excited about? And post in the comments. We're going to dive into this game. So let's get into this one, shall we? Because it was. I know that you guys are like saying, Trev, relax, okay? Because it's just a regular season game against Chicago, and you're getting this excited. We have looked terrible. In game 1, we looked great. Game 2, we looked terrible. Game 3, we looked terrible. Game 4, no. Yeah, I don't know. Game 4, we looked, I mean, literally, so was it Edmonton, St. Louis? Oh, yeah, St. Louis as well, right? We just did not look good enough. And so that's the thing. That's the thing where we're at. This team did not look good because it was great against Calgary, bad against Edmonton. Without Demko, we would have lost 7-1. We only lost 3-1. The Blues kicked our butts, and then we go in and we beat Dallas in Dallas. And then on a back-to-back, we had all the excuses in the world not to do this, and we did it. We did it, everyone. We pulled it off. And so now our record, I believe, is 3-2. No, yes, 3-2. 3-2 because 1, 2, 3, yeah, 3-2 we are, and that's a huge thing. So we're at that stage where it's quite good. We're excited about it, and all those people are like, you just beat Chicago. Who cares? W is a W, and you got to get wins early because the amount of wins, especially in the first couple of months before U.S. Thanksgiving, is crucial. So this is a big deal. Back-to-back games, and we win both of them. Nobody predicted us to win them both. They might have said maybe you'll lose to Dallas for sure. Maybe you'll lose, or maybe you'll win against Chicago, and we found a way to win. So I was very, very happy with what I saw with our Vancouver Canucks in the way of finding a way to win. Was there opportunities and times where you're like, we're not playing good enough? 100%. But at the end of the day, you found a way to win. You found a way to get 2 points. You didn't just go to overtime. You didn't just lose in regulation and said, oh, well, it was back-to-back and all the excuses could have come up. But no, you found a way to get to overtime, and you found a way to win the game. Now, in overtime, we should have won like 4 times. And so we're going to talk about it. But there's a lot to discuss here, and I'm absolutely thrilled that this is happening. And guys, this has honestly been quite incredible, and I'm very grateful that we've started this road trip this way. So it was a big win. It was a big win. And any NHL team in the league, if they won back-to-back games, that's a big deal. It's a big deal. It doesn't matter who you're playing. It's a big deal. And then we went and beat Dallas and Chicago. I'm loving it. So I love this. And what I loved about this game, okay, I want to show you. I'm going to just talk about it real quick. Sasson producing again. Guys, we're getting production from our third and fourth lines, and that helps us to win games. And that is so important. And putting this, like I said over and over, put the Abby line together, Benning, Sasson, Karlsson, you're seeing the changes and the results, right? But there are so many people criticizing so many players, and I've been really critical of Pettersson. We'll talk about him in a minute. But one of the guys that people are criticizing, I'm just putting his name in right now, is Jake the Snake DeBrusk. By the way, that's a wrestling reference. If you're from the old school wrestling days, you get it. It's just funny. Jake the Snake came in clutch for us tonight. 2 goals, only one that counts on the fantasy sheet, the score sheet that way. But the overtime the shootout goal is Jake the Snake DeBrusk. And all those people like, trade Jake DeBrusk. I just made a trade video tonight, this afternoon, and posted it and talked about who would you trade. And a lot of people said, trade Jake DeBrusk. He's terrible. And I'm like, guys, I don't think you understand how good he is and how big of a playoff performer he's been in his career. This is the kind of guy who's streaky, who's up and down, and I get it. I want you. You want it. I want it. We want him to be more consistent. But his entire career, he's a streaky player. But when he produces like this is why you paid him $5 million a year. I'm very happy that we have him, and I like that he's on the second line now and he's not on the top line. So I'm really, really enjoying that piece to it. So yeah, so that's where we're at. Okay. And then what we see here tonight, and I don't know if I added this or not. Yeah, I think I did. Did I add this new one? No, this is the old one. I got to add the new one right now. And we're going to talk about the new lines that are here. So I got to go to downloads, and there it is right there. We're going to bring it up. Okay. So let's just quickly talk about the new changes to the line. But before we do that, Lankinen was solid in that, and he was good enough. He was good enough, and that's what you need from your backup goaltender. He can steal and win games, and you know what? He had to make some fantastic saves tonight. But let's get into the more line changes for sure. Let's dive into it, okay? So here's the new line changes, okay? This is the tweaking of the new line changes. And on the top line, they've now put Kane, Pettersson, and Garland, which I'm all for. I like this second line now with DeBrusk, Hedl, and Besser. And then, of course, Drew O'Connor. Bluger was back in the lineup. And then you had Sherwood there. And then, of course, the Abbey line in that fourth line who produced again. So that's great. And then you had Lankinen, and then you had Demko backing up. And I believe those are all the same D pairings from last night as well. You can correct me if I'm wrong. But by the way, everyone, if you haven't followed me on any of these socials, please do. That would be fantastic because I'm everywhere. Okay. Anyways, that's a lot of fun. Okay. So we're going to dive into your comments in just a moment. But I do want to make a comment because I'm tracking how Pettersson is doing. And I want you to know that last video, and you can go look at the post-game show for the Canucks and Dallas Stars. I said that Pettersson's going to have the best game of his season against Chicago. And so he did. He had the best game of this season so far, of his season. I shouldn't say the season, of his season, because I still think Garland's been much better than him. But anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm splitting hairs here. So he had his best game of the season, like I predicted, but he had many chances to win this game, and he didn't do it. Ultimately, he couldn't do it. Even the passes, and one went right through the crease, and he couldn't put it in the net. There, he hit a crossbar. I thought he had a good night, so I'm not criticizing him, even though some of the PD's police are going to be out there and like, you can't even say a nice thing about him. It was his line mates, if we're honest, who came up big again, guys. Now, did PD help this team to win? For sure. Was he better? For sure. But I've been telling you that he plays good, great, and good against bad teams. And that was evident tonight. Now, what is he going to do against Washington? I hope he keeps it rolling, because he was better against Dallas. He was even better than that against Chicago. And then against Washington, I hope he keeps it going, because I want, and you want, every one of us wants him to have a bounce back year, a revenge year. I'm just not convinced that he's going to have that. I'm predicting that he's going to score 79 points this year. I hope I'm wrong. I hope he scores 90. I hope he scores 100 plus. But I'm just telling you, I'm not the only one that's critical about Pettersson. But my friend Sean, I was on the phone with him watching this game, the overtime and shootouts and the last 7 minutes of the game. And he's like, you got to rail on Pettersson tonight. You got to tell the people how terrible he is. And I'm sitting there going, no, he's actually been good. Like, I'll take this over what we have been seeing. So, yeah, and I got to be careful, because, people don't like the truth, right? RevTrev, better don't tell us about the truth about EP40. I know this is the truth, right? And some people can't handle the truth, but I did like how much progression I seen him do tonight. I just wish he would clutch it up. He had so many opportunities to win it, and then everyone can say, oh, see, I told you, RevTrev, you're wrong. You're wrong. And it's like, I want to be wrong about Pettersson. I want to be wrong. So let's go. And, Toymaker is here. Says, I like PD better last game. He was blocking shots. I think he was better this game, but well, what is this cost? But what is this cost is per game or EP40. I know it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money, man. I get it. I don't think he's worth the money at this stage, but it is what it is. And positive vibes only. No, I'm passionate, realistic, and honest. And yeah, we're gonna get into it. So, but there was a lot of good players tonight. I felt like Garland had another good night. Hedl had some good moments. Hughes, again, to me, looked fantastic, was dangerous, was effective, was making a difference. Hronek had some moments where I thought was really good. Kane had some moments that got a dumb penalty, in my opinion. The controversy is going to be Chicago, Bertuzzi scoring at the end. And it's like, no, dude, you literally hit his pad. So, Lankinen had stopped the puck. He hit his pad and the puck goes in. That's a no goal. You can't do that. You have to go for the puck. You can't just move the goalie and expect it to go in. It was deemed that on the ice, and then they watched the replays, and it was deemed that by the head ups. Okay, so and by the ref there, it was confirmed. It was confirmed. So all you Chicago fans that are going to come in here and watch this later, you just need to understand that it was confirmed twice by the officials, and it is the rule. So anyone who's going to lose their minds over this, then you need to relax. You need to relax, because I was super impressed. Okay, so let's dive in just into the nuts and bolts of this. Is Lankinen, Canucks edge Blackhawks in shootout. Goaltender makes 31 saves for Vancouver. Knight stops 30 in a loss for Chicago. And Besser ends up did he score? No, it wasn't Besser that scored. What was this? Brock Besser scored in the 4th round of a shootout. Oh, yeah, that was awesome. That was awesome. The 4th round of the shootout to keep us alive. But didn't it not count? Let me just see. Let's see here. Brock Besser. Oh, it was Besser that scored? Am I blind? Jake the Snake. Oh, yes. Oh, I can't believe it. So Brock Besser. What am I? That is hilarious that I got that wrong. Okay. I've got issues, apparently, everyone. That was awesome. Okay, let's just talk about those shootout moments. Petey's shootout attempt was a little lame. He had an open net. He just seems to be in slow motion all the time. Great goal by Besser. Yeah, it was Besser who scored. Yes, I am blind. I'm blind. I apologize. I was going off about Jake. But Jake the Snake, I thought, had a great game tonight. Besser had multiple opportunities, couldn't score, but he ended up putting it in the net. So my apologies, everyone. That is a big mistake. I hope you can find it in your heart to forgive me that you don't unsubscribe for that blunder. I'm just so excited about this game. I was trying to get the stream up real quick after, which I did, and I'm kind of happy with myself. Okay, let's get back into the game overall. If you look at the numbers, okay, so shots on goal, everyone, it was 15-13. Was it real? Oh, yeah, we were getting outshot 8-1. Canucks came back. Chicago, again, gets 10 shots on goal. In the second period, we only had 4, and then Vancouver takes over and gets better shots, and then we end up getting right there. Look at, guys, 33 to 32 shots on goal. That's way better. Anytime we get over 30, we have a great chance of winning. We got owned in the face-off circle. In fact, that's one thing. Pettersson did a great job in the face-off circle. I think he was 11 for 20, so that's a lot better. I was happy about that. They took more penalties than we did, 14-8. The hits, we out-hit them 26-19, and then the block shots were tied. Giveaways, they had 2 more giveaways, and then they had 6 more takeaways. So that is impressive. But, guys, let's look at this Jake DeBrusk goal. And this is on the power play. Brock Besser over to Hughes, and then it goes down to Garland, over to Jake, and he stuffs it in. That was a hard-working goal. I absolutely loved it. Okay, let's go to the Sasson goal. This was incredible. So you got Baines over, and I believe he gets it to Carlson, and then Hronek, and then what a beauty pass to Sasson, and he scored. That was awesome. Now, I just want to remind you guys, if we go back to this exact same thing happened for Pettersson, and unfortunately, he didn't score it later on. I think it was in overtime, but that Sasson scores this, and it was beauty. I wish Pettersson would have scored in overtime. It would have been awesome, and then I could eat my words on that one. So, why did I think Jake DeBrusk scored there to do that? I don't know. Okay, I've got issues. I'm blind, apparently. Lots of fun. Okay, let's dive into this, and I'm gonna do the promo. I'm gonna get into your comments, and I'm so glad that you're here. Canucks win. All right, so on the 5-game road trip, Dallas, we win 4. Well, I guess got to change that. We got to put W, right? Got to put it win, guys. W. And just do this properly. Is it shootout? It looks like shutout, right? So, all right, let's dive into your comments. Chris says winning isn't always pretty. That's true. Mike Patrick says Brock the rock star scored the shootout winner. Awesome. Richard says Pokemon Jake DeBrusk, he poked the puck in. But we can't talk about Sasson game tying goal. I think we can. He was fantastic. Toymaker said thought Chi Hawks would win after killing off those penalties. By the way, that's a good point. The 2 penalties, we should have done it. We got Calvin saying we won. Wow. Yeah. So PD cheated on the shootout by stopping, and he still hit the bar. You can't stop and go backwards. They called it off. 138 people in here. This is awesome. I thought Myers was big. That tall guy was Chicago. On Chicago was big. Yes, absolutely. Roberto, hey, Rev, what did you like about the game tonight? I like the win. I like the effort. I like that they found a way to win on a back-to-back. I love Sasson, and I love that line. Absolutely love that line. Let's keep going. Who would you trade for Tuck? I'm not sure. I have to do more research on that, but there's a number of guys I would. Japan 4 says we're just wanting our $6.11 million worth of EP40. Is that asking too much? Yeah, I guess it is. I don't know. Is there any logical reason PD is an A, or is it just the 11.6 reasons? I don't know. That's a good question. That's a really good question. A lot of people want Garland to have it. We should have scored on that power play. Absolutely. I just want Pettersson to bring his effort and engagement every game. I agree. Canucks lit up night in Chicago night. I don't know if we see that. Thank you for forgiving me for being blind. I appreciate that. Poor McDavid taking a significant discount for his latest contract. EP40 is not worth that. I agree. Jake's shot. Oh, yeah, that's why. Because Jake's shot looked like it went in. I literally thought it went in. Lucky to get 1 point, let alone 2 tonight. Another poor effort. But doesn't matter, Rick. It doesn't matter. We found a way to win. So it matters, but it doesn't. I know. Guess what? I forgot. I have the hockey cards. They're in my car. My wife's out tonight. So Canucks vlogger is here. Nice to see you, man. Canucks game vlogger. I like this guy. We need to do a video together. Okay. Did we fight Dickerson? No, we did not. Time to open up the Calgary. If my wife comes home, we're gonna have to do the next one. I'm sorry. Big win tonight. Okay. Dickerson should have been challenged on his first shift. Yeah, I know. Okay. PD was unlucky, but he needs to shoot more, but he missed. And those close chances is good night. Yeah, I agree. Okay, guys, I actually have to go. I'm so sorry. It's only 22 minutes. I have to run. I wanted to jump on here and do a quick one. I'm so pumped about tonight. Thank you so much for being here. You guys and girls are amazing. Got to run. Believe in blue. We got 2 points. Love y'all. Go Canucks go.